When truthers are required to provide their citations, they virtually every time prove that they lied, not made a mistake. Because if you claim to have a superior knowledge of something because you say you're researching something, if you don't show some level of humility, I'm going to call you a liar because you deserve it. If you're trying to push some sort of agenda, if you're trying to do politics versus reality, you're going to get called that. Now, I'm not gloating here. I'm saying this as a lesson learned by one of two people who decided to harass me over the last few days by saying that there are 3 photos of Adam Lanza pointing a gun at his head, and none of them show him doing exactly what was in the report that everybody sees that's referenced on Wikipedia. The trouble is, one of the 2 of them actually told me what to fucking look up, and of course it confirms the narrative. Why did you say that? Because you have to lie. You have to aggravate. You have to taunt people. Now, there are 2 of these assholes doing this. One of them has nothing on his channel except, you know, unrelated videos about, he's a fan of trying to figure out the lottery system. Keep going. Yeah. No, I mean that, literally. If somebody can figure out how to bust the lottery, more power to you. It's a big scam, and we need to scam them back. The other one is obsessed with a Sandy Hook and keeps pushing fake stories. But the one who wasn't pushing fake stories, but just parrots them, fessed up and told me what to look up. Now, it's not a blog spot or whatever. It's a WordPress site. And WordPress sites are set up so that they're harder to archive. I archived the whole fucking thing. Next thing, it's called The Crying Hamster WordPress. And it's cryinghamster.files.wordpress.com/2019/04 for April. And it's various words and phrases. Google has been instructed by WordPress, because it is under WordPress, to not allow archiving. And archive.org is absolutely flatulent when it comes to this, because as soon as you finish archiving it, it denies all knowledge. Archive.is does not. Again, repeating the assertion, there are 3 photos and some videos that were just recently gotten through Freedom of Information Act request. But we're not going to tell you where they are, because do your own research. You're the ones who said you discovered something that disproves the narrative, but you won't provide evidence. Fuck you. Next, one of the 2, again, told me where they got it from. There really was, apparently recently, according to the Crying Hamster, whoever runs Crying Hamster, he got a Freedom of Information Act request, which shouldn't have to be done, so we wouldn't have to go through this crap. You should be able to just get the information. That shows more than one video, I'm not saying how many videos, of Adam Lanza doing Dance Dance Revolution. He obviously had a video recording he made himself, or had a friend hold the camera while he did it. And some of them are pretty large. Most of them are really small, 6 megabyte files. Okay, we're good. What about the 3 pictures of him pointing a gun at his head? The entire, I archived the entire WordPress site. There's 3 photos of him with a gun involved in one page. One of them shows him having apparently a semi-auto shotgun, or just a magazine-fed shotgun. I can't tell which one. I'm not going to say one or the other, because the image isn't good enough for me to evaluate it. It was misidentified as a rifle, and it shows him with it slung over one shoulder and holding an AR style, but just a simple rifle. And it's from 2010. And it also shows him taking that same, at least magazine-fed shotgun, pointing at his head. It's identified as a rifle because someone just glanced at it and didn't notice the detail that shows it's a shotgun. It is. There's only one picture of him, besides that one, showing him pointing a gun at his head. So saying there's 3 photos of him pointing a gun at his head is a little weird. Show me the other image. Or you're going to do the same runaway thing because you don't know what you're saying. When you read it on some website, well, I saw 3 pictures of him pointing a gun at his head. Everybody thinks they saw him doing this. But the fact is that I couldn't find any images either. But someone did find this WordPress site. And it shows him doing this. Exactly what is claimed by the Sandy Hook truthers that he couldn't physically do. He couldn't put his arm like this, but it shows him doing it. Well, it's the wrong kind of position. No, it fucking isn't. That's exactly the image. It shows him practicing the suicide positions. He figured out which one he's comfortable with. He didn't put it in his mouth. He put it behind his head, and that's it. Most of them do a defiance suicide position, where you point the gun at yourself and glare at the camera, saying, I'm holding myself hostage. I control my fate. It's a symbolic imagery that a lot of mass murderers and ordinary people do. It's also used for lots of photo images. There's an image like that of somebody pointing a 16 millimeter camera at his head. Because my art is my suicide. My art is my destruction. These are a very classic image. It's an iconic image. Most people make these images pretty much within the first week of getting a gun. They just make sure the gun's unloaded. But this kid isn't doing that. It shows him actually practicing the suicide shot. It's a very... I'm not going to use the image in an image pop-up. You can look at the links below. Everything's archived. It's not disappearing. So, I'm going to read my text on the screen. But I want to get to the point. Again, San Diego truthers always lie. Even if they're telling the truth about something, they have to stick at least one lie in it. The joke about the devil. The devil will tell you 100 truths to lie to you just once. One of these two people had a conscience and told me where to look. Now, I want you to watch this video. I let your comment post. I've erased all the others before because you're being a jerk. You proved, if you actually looked at the page, I just sent you the links. They're all sitting there in that damn comment. You get to sit there and think about this for a minute. It proves the narrative. It does not disprove it, and there isn't 3 images of him pointing a gun at his head, it's 2, and it's not a pistol in each case, and one of them is a shotgun showing how convoluted it would be to use that thing, but not impossible. And again, it does not disprove the narrative, nor does it show that it was not possible for him to do that. And yes, I'm going to include a link. If you demand it, I'll just put a video up where I put up the links. I've archived your comments where not you, but both of you together chimed in and said, it's impossible for him to have done this, what it says in the police report. But the image fucking shows him doing the same pose. So what you did is you promoted a lie. I don't care if you're the main person. I don't care if you're the same person doing 2 YouTube channels. You promoted a lie. Full stop. Post a video publicly apologizing for it and admitting you spread Sandy Hook conspiracy theory propaganda. Name it that way, or I don't want to talk to you anymore. When I make a mistake, I eat crow and put up a video. You do it. You promoted a lie. Shut up. If you contradict this fact, I'm going to erase the next set of comments you do, and I'm not going to respond to you anymore. The other asshole is not allowed to post anymore. Is that clear? You're not allowed to. No posting. If you post under somebody else's comment, I'll delete it. I can delete them. I'm not going to flag them as spam or anything anymore. I just delete them. You go away. You're promoting lies. You're derailing shit. The person who gave up the goods and gave me the link to this completely debunked their own statements. Did you bother looking any of it up? Or were you having a tiny bit of conscience left? A very large number of people who promote conspiracy theories that cause division and derision are not in the United States. They fake being American citizens, they talk about being patriots or whatever, they talk the talk and all that shit, and then they do it in such a way that you and I get in arguments. If you're watching this, if you give a shit, do you understand you've been played like a cunt? Not a bitch. Because you turned aggravating. Pussy. Okay, now the video gets flagged. Go ahead and flag me. I didn't name your channel. Flag me. Suppress this. It's going to work really good. It's going to get re-imaged directly over to freaking, what was it? Yeah, BitChute. Eventually, YouTube is going to be the least useful website on the planet. They apparently want it that way. BitChute is the only one I've seen that works better. They may end up driving BitChute's usage up so high that it literally takes over for YouTube. I hope it happens. Imager is taking over for PhotoBucket like crazy. They're getting to the point they're going to have to start charging money for their shit. Because PhotoBucket self-forever sleeped. No, actually they didn't. They did a dick move. They shot themselves in the dick. And they still send me messages. We want money. No. But anyway, Imager is the successor to PhotoBucket because they screwed themselves over. YouTube is turning into that. They flag channels like mine that mention Adam Lanza or Sandy Hook. They go after us. Why? Because it's easier. They can't admit that they make money off of the conspiracy theories. If they're going to make money off the conspiracy theorists, let us debunkers make you money too. Stop fucking with us. Well, anyway. 2019, April 16th, Crying Hamster WordPress debunked Adam Lanza's suicide being an impossible posture and their truthers' fixation with it. Now, this is such a minor point, I thought maybe that if somebody was just playing games to see what kind of reaction they could get out of me, maybe testing the waters. Actually, I'm not saying that facetiously. That is what one of them was doing. And at the first, I thought both of them were the same person because they had very similar behavior. Or maybe you're just hanging out with the same stupid crowd. I don't know if you're just a couple of punk kids learning about this shit. That's cool. God, I'm old. I called somebody a punk kid. I'm sorry. I'm a punk-ass bitch, too. We all are. 6 videos. It's actually a lot of videos on the on 2 different pages. The website run by Crying Hamster is being run by somebody who's learned bad lessons from the internet and is archiving stuff. He didn't archive his own page. I did. You're welcome. 3 pictures of Adam Lanza from Freedom of Information Act and multiple others that aren't from that one. I'm sure there's more of them, and I'm going to address that in a minute. Crying Hamster, the blogger, did that. A 2010, May 28th, 2300 hours and 25 second image on the site is called Full 2, there's probably others, and shows the thing with a rifle in his hands and a shotgun slung over his shoulder. Crying Hamster said, Adam displayed no hesitation while committing suicide, as there were only 4 seconds between the last test shot and the suicide shot. And he also says he didn't realize how obnoxious the watermarks were initially and ended up making the watermark less prominent and moved it out of the way. I'm addressing this right now. Dear Crying Hamster blog, WordPress, we worship you, but here's the problem. Don't watermark shit. I'm not kidding about it. You went to all the trouble. I know you went through a lot of trouble. You must probably spend a good amount of money getting this. Alright? And you're obviously not one of the San Diego truthers. But you're making it impossible to analyze or work with the image if you put a fucking watermark on it. When you do that, you disable the ability to use it as evidence. You don't copyright evidence. Put up the original file without alteration of any kind for us to use with the original metadata in it. I need that. When you do anything to the image at all, you are modifying the data. Don't do that. Whatever file you got, dump it onto the net. Just do it. Dump it as a binary in a RAR file with a password on it so that it can't be altered by some website. Give us the password and the link. Give it away. Open source it. I'm not trying to critique you as being a jerk, but don't watermark shit. And don't put just don't watermark. I'm not even going to bring up where you can watermark it. Don't. Anyway, next. Under a hard drive folder titled Fun, according to the records that were retrieved, 2 images were named after the online alias Keynbred. Keynbred. I think it's a Kenya West joke, but anyway. And it is Keynsu, Kenesu, 1 and 2. One is him holding a handgun to his head exactly the way Sandy Hook truthers described as being impossible based on the image. One of them today referenced the site as proof of the 3 images of him holding a gun to his head, but only 2 of them do this, and one corroborated me and Sandy Hook official story, sometimes called the report. And there's not a or the report. There's more than one file. The other image, called Kenesu 2, holding a shotgun to his head, not a rifle, and it's presumably a semi-auto and or just a magazine-fed shotgun. It's probably just magazine-fed, I'm pretty sure. So here's the thing. Here's the deal, though. Those were done 2010, July 18th at 1800 hours and 1 minute, 1800 hours and 8 minutes. There are probably other images. Or he set up the image with a timer. He might have had some bad images. And he put it under a folder called Fun. He's being ironic, I'm sure. And yeah, it is him testing out positions to shoot himself. He obsessively documented what he did. Next, if you're trying to remove a watermark, the inpaint.com, previously a different name, actually works kinda. All the others I'm listing below failed. I'm not going to name them because they don't deserve it. They refused to work, or they tried to install a virus or redirect. Anyway, I want to thank the person I'm not naming until you take responsibility for yourself for spilling your beans here all over us. There's an image. And as for the other person, you're not allowed to post because you failed. Cite your sources, even if they don't agree with you. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. And please find me any other images if you got them. Bye.